Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the phenom, the juggernaut, Spider-Man, Brand New Day, opening box office. Oh yeah, Spider-Man has done $360 million in North America on his opening weekend, overtaking Avengers Endgame by $2.9 million. Absolutely ridiculous. Crazy numbers. I don't think anyone expected it to do better than Endgame. I think everyone expected it to do well. I think everyone expected it to outperform, but not by this much. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. Thursday previews, $72 million, an all-time preview record. A record. I mean, just amazing. International over $500 million with a B. That's bravo. Oh my goodness. Just ridiculous. I mean, this thing is monumental. It is historic. Yes, I know inflation, maybe Endgame is still eking out by a bit, but still, I don't think anybody expected this Spider-Man movie to do this well. No Way Home, I thought that was coming just because of, the bringing together of the Spider-Men, if you will, Toby, Andrew, and Tom. But this has none of that. It has Tom, but it has something, or it wouldn't be doing this well, right? I mean, just amazing. And between Brand New Day and The Odyssey, the domestic industry has notched its highest grossing collective weekend in box office history, over $425 million. That is 75 short of $500 million in a weekend. That is insane. Wow. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And it has crossed the $1 billion threshold in just 6 days, the second fastest in history. Oh my goodness. Just ridiculous. Way to go, Marvel. Oh wait, it's not a Marvel movie. It's a Sony movie. Marvel, you get, I think, what is it, 25% of the cut? But it's still a Sony movie. So, good job-ish? I don't know. Probably shouldn't have sold your rights to Sony, right? All right, now, let's compare that to, I know, the DCU. Ladies and gentlemen, James Gunn's The DCU. Now, the latest installment from the DCU was Supergirl. And what did Supergirl do? Well, opening, it did 37.2 million. So roughly, give or take, a tenth of what Spider-Man did. Poor DCU. Poor DCU. A tenth. A tenth of what Spider-Man did. Are you kidding me? Granted, this is what happens when you take an established, loved, well-renowned character as opposed to forcing down our throat Superman's cousin? I'm not saying Supergirl doesn't have her merits or her own stories, but maybe don't go Superman, Supergirl. Maybe go Superman, Batman. Maybe go Superman, Green Lantern. Maybe go Superman, anything else but something else in the Superverse, because people don't seem to care. Yes, Crypto is cute, but basing an entire movie around him is very John Wickish, and that was in the 20 teens, right? Like, anyway, Supergirl, not great. But what about Superman? Superman 2025. Superman 2025. David Cornsweet, the replaceful for Henry Cavill, which still a little salty about that, but what exactly happened there? Well, James Gunn's Superman 2025 opened to a domestic box office debut of $122 million. Okay, not bad. Still not what Spider-Man did. Still not 360 million. Not a professional here. Still playing with OBX or OBS, whatever it's called. So not as great. Not as good. And so if we add up, wait, let me backtrack. Recordings and rankings down here. Yearly standings as the third largest domestic box office film debut in 2025. Wait, Superman, you weren't even the first? You're Superman. Why aren't you number one? All right, let's pause. Maybe there were some great movies. Maybe there were some phenomenal movies. Maybe there were some epic movies that came out, likes of which we've never seen. And those eclipsed you just because of their grandiosity and their greatness. What were they? Minecraft the movie and Lilo and Stitch, the live action version, beat Superman. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself, James Gunn. You should be ashamed of yourself. Ridiculous. You got beat out by a remake and a video game movie. A video game movie. Those were the jokes of the cinema. What video game movie was good? Street Fighter? Mortal Kombat? Prince of Persia? None of them are good. They're all terrible for the most part. The original Super Mario Brothers? Need I go on? And you couldn't beat that. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And okay, so let's combine them, right? Let's say Superman did 125, and what did Supergirl do? 30 something? Let's round it up to 40. 125 plus 40, 165, double it. That's 330, still less than Spider-Man. Absolutely abysmal. Just terrible, James Gunn. Please put in your resignation, walk away, go someplace where they embrace people who look like Q-tips. Because your shtick, your Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever that was charming for like a moment has gone. Your moment has passed. Your 15 minutes are up. Please step aside, let someone else come through and fix things. Anything. But let's not jump to conclusions because we haven't talked about Marvel yet, have we? Because as we've established, Marvel gets a cut of this Spider-Man goodness, but it's not a Marvel movie. It's a Sony movie. Yeah, it's a Sony movie. So let's move on to Captain America: Brave New World. Your opening weekend, you grossed $88.5 million. Better than Supergirl. Not as good as Superman, but okay. Okay. I see you, you know. You did all right, especially considering all the reboots, all the reshoots and nonsense. And then you released it in February, which is usually like the cringiest month for a movie to come out. Like that's where you just throw all the dead stuff and hope it sticks. Not bad. But you were still a little bit of a disappointment. And even if we give you the President's Day weekend total of 100 million, you're still not even close, not even a third of the way to Spider-Man. Not even a third of the way. But we looked at other DC movies. We're going to look at other Marvel movies from last year. Let's see how they did. The Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts. Which maybe it was in the movie, maybe it wasn't, but you would think like Thunderstruck would be just an obvious choice for music, right? For the Thunderbolts. I know it's not quite Thunderstruck, Thunderbolts, but it's close. It's close enough. You might as well go with it, right? Anyway, the Thunderbolts did between 74.3 and 76 million domestically. We're just talking domestic. Worldwide, we're not interested. We're focusing on domestic. So if we add Brave New World and the Thunderbolts, domestic, we are at 164.5. Again, not half as much as Spider-Man. Not half. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say half? I'm thinking of Eddie Murphy. I don't know if it was Raw or one of his other comedy specials when he talks about getting divorced and he's like, Eddie, half. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's amazing. It's one of the best comedy specials ever made. Eddie Murphy, one of the GOATs. But still, not great, right? Not terrible, but not what you wanted. Not what you needed for a May release. A beginning of blockbuster season release? Absolutely not. No. And the last, but not the least, the Fantastic Four. Yes, the 75th reboot of the Fantastic Four. I believe I've been watching Fantastic Four reboots with different characters the majority of my life. And honestly, like the first one they did in the aughts, you know, when it was 20-aught something, you know, 01, 02, 03, whatever that was, I thought that one was okay. And then they just got progressively more terrible. But it did well. It did well. It outperformed other franchise Fantastic Fours, 2005's Fantastic Four at $56 million. And the 2015 reboot at 25.7. 10 years later, you do less than half? Half? Again, Eddie, half! Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's amazing. Yes, less than half 10 years later. Absolutely atrocious. Atrocious. Atrocious? Atrocious. I can't talk. Words, Wes. Words. Absolutely horrible. Just terrible. But first steps makes an impression. $118 million, slightly behind Superman, way ahead of Supergirl, ahead of the Thunderbolts, ahead of Brand New World. So kudos to this. But I have to wonder, was this influenced by people already knowing that RDJ was coming back for Doomsday, and they thought there was going to be some sort of crossover event, end cutscene, something that they needed to watch so they knew what was going on with Doomsday? Definitely a possibility, in my humble opinion. Now, let's take all the opening weekends of First Steps and The Thunderbolts and Brand New Day, or sorry, not Brand New Day, Brave New World, sorry, too many B's, and add them up. Do you know what we get? We get $282.5 million. Now, subtract that from the 360 that is Spider-Man, and you are still short. Almost $78 million. Yes. So everything that Marvel did last year is nothing compared to what Spider-Man Brand New Day has done this year already in one weekend. And it's already crossed the $1 billion mark. What does that tell us? Is there superhero fatigue? Absolutely not. There is not superhero fatigue. There is crappy movie, horrible script fatigue. And apparently Sony somehow is the only ones that can get it right. And they can only get it right with Spider-Man. Spider-Man offshoots are terrible. Morbius and Madam Web and was it Craven or whatever? Just hot, steaming piles of garbage. But Spider-Man, they know how to do it and they know how to do it right. So, Marvel, DC, please take a look at this movie, Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and realize that this is what people want. People want to see a core hero in his or her element, battling whatever, right? Like, I know we're introducing, not to give out spoilers, the next movies and new characters and all that. But at the heart of it, we want the actual character. This is the first Spider-Man that is the more traditional Spider-Man that we know, right? It's the Spider-Man that he's on his own, he's doing his own thing, he doesn't have any support, no one knows who he is, but he's making it work, or he's doing the best he can. That's what people want to see. So get back to the basics. Don't give us another origin story, but give us a real story about our heroes that is compelling, that we want to see. And sure, you can bring in different elements. You can have like a buddy type thing with the Punisher or a similar character. You can have other elements around it. But if the script is solid and the acting is solid, it will deliver at the end of the day. So no, there is not superhero fatigue at the movie theater. There is crappy script, crappy production, one-trick pony fatigue at the theater. That is the issue at hand. Let me know your comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you seen Brand New Day? What do you think of it? Thank you for coming in, chat, and I will talk to you on the next one.